Hello, good day to you, wherever you're watching from around the world. I just wanted to quickly stop by to share my view in relation to the fake protests that so-called civilians are carrying out in Gaza against terrorist Hamas. Well, I'll just put it out there. I do not believe for one moment that that's a real protest, and that's purely Hamas, terrorist Hamas propaganda, another propaganda ploy tool to deceive and gain the sympathy, support, and aid from gullible supporters around the world. Let's take a look at something about the protests before we carry on to share my view.
تركيا تخرج الآن ضد حكم حماس. ما يجري في قطاع غزة كارثة. يطالبون هنا الناس والمواطنين الإفراج عن الأسرى من أجل بقائهم الحياة. هنا حماس تطالب الشعب أن يبقى صامدا. كيف يبقى صامدا وهو يموت وينزف؟ لازم على حماس عليها التوقف ما يجري في قطاع غزة. هذه الألوف خرجت من أجل أن توصل رسالتها للعالم كله. رافضين حكم حماس، رافضين ما يجري. شعب بيت يا شعب السلام، بيت يا شعب السلام.
If you take a look at those people, did any of them look like he was starving, just like we have been deceived? Well, I wasn't deceived, as they peddled in over the last 1 year, claiming that there were starving people, women and children in Gaza, despite the tons and tons of thousands of food that Israel ensured was delivered into Gaza daily. That story for another day. Let's focus on these fake protests. Protests? Seriously? During this war, I have seen clips and videos over and over of people who just spoke something that was in disagreement with terrorist Hamas. Can we find those people? We've seen them beating, flogging, actually shooting people, those who spoke up against them. And you tell me that those people that are on the streets right now are actually speaking up against Hamas? Please, please, just stop. Terrorist Hamas will never allow any civilian to speak up against them. Those people on the streets are Hamas themselves. Well, the ceasefire is over. They broke the deal. Remember the fake victory parade they carried on weeks ago with the hostages and even corpses? Remember those fake victory parade? This same crowd were with them cheering, applauding them, singing their praises. And today, they came out with their fake military fatigues and show of might with their weapons during that ceasefire. They've blended, chameleons that they are, blended into the civilian, so-called civilian clothes, changed, and now they're on the street telling me that they're protesting against Hamas. Hamas is sponsoring those people. For goodness sake, tell me, which terrorist nation in this world, you know them? I'm not going to waste my time naming them for you. Go find out. There are lots of them scattered everywhere. Terrorist nations, and even some so-called democracies, have people, innocent people, been able to freely carry out protests without the despotic, tyrannical devils in charge going after those protesters? And you tell me the real, actual terrorists that we can see, and we have seen what they do and can do, and they've said they will do, will allow people to protest against them? Please. Yeah, I am the queen of the world. Anyways, there is no protest going on against Hamas. They just want to whip sentiment up. They have seen that they have failed. Israel is coming now. Remember, Israel had its hand tied, blindfolded as well by the dead regime that just ended in the US. Over the last 1 year, when terrorist Hamas started this war on October 7, 2023, Israel couldn't go the way they should have. Now we have a regime, a government, a real proper government that understands terrorists and terrorism. Israel can do what should have been done on October 8th. And now, suddenly there are people who are brave enough to protest against the same terrorists. Well, let me just break it to you that those people are not civilians. Where were they on October 7th? Those were the same civilians who broke into, climbed fence, went through, went under, went over, ravaged communities in Israel. Where were they? They were innocent civilians. They were against Hamas. But where were they on October 7th? Where were they throughout the year when innocent hostages, even on that October 7th, when innocent hostages were dragged from their homes in all sorts of inhuman conditions after being horrifying things done to them, dragged into Gaza? Where were those innocent civilians? Where were these protesters when the precious two babies of the Beaver's family were hand choked? Where were they during the fake victory parade? Which of them showed kindness or helped the hostages? Hostage and hostage and hostage have been released. None of them has one good thing to say about the monsters that are in Gaza. And you tell me that they are protesting against Hamas? That's not a protest by innocent people. Look at their faces. Real protesters will show anger. They are all looking contented, well-fed, well-dressed, excited, happy. Just because terrorist Hamas seem to not be carrying out what their real intention is. I just thank God that Israel is strong enough, and may God continue to give Israel the strength, the wisdom, everything that is needed to completely annihilate terrorist Hamas, to keep Gaza safe and the world as well.